Alex, how have you been feeling lately? I feel that was a fairly general question.
I generally feel bad.
Can you tell me why?
I thought there was such a great development of relationship that was there, that is kind of permeating the present, and what that new relationship looks like now. I also thought it very much captured that development of grief and the different layers of it, rather and the different stages of grief, of which there are many, as we see. I really liked the hazy quality and the very inventive use of camera angles and effects to translate different states of being. And I thought that that kind of artistic vision and focus was very clear right from the beginning. Everything felt quite intentional, which I also appreciated. So, a lot of mystery and questions I had, but I think lots of it wasn't for me to know. All it was supposed to be is that these rituals or these items really meant something to the character.
This reminds me of the Babadook in the sense of it has very slasher elements and it's very ambiguous what this hooded figure is in this room she's in. Uh, to realize that it's a depiction of mental health and learning that the sisters essentially become a guardian to her brother because unfortunately her mother passed away, and all of the stress and turmoils that brings. It was very captivating.
Two really solid lead performances here that I thought played well against each other as well as working well in isolation. The cinematography choices here were pretty interesting as well. Some pretty eye-catching use of color, some creative use of visual filters in certain parts of the film. And I think that it did a good job of balancing its more narrative aspects with its more abstract ideas, especially when it comes to the film's presentation. It never really becomes something that's purely visual, something that's not really focused on telling a story clearly. It still tells that story, and I think it does a good job of it, but it does so in a way that, as I've said, is a little more abstract. So I think that keeps things interesting.
I'm seeing the sister taking on the role of a parent um, after the loss of a parent. I did have a question about the cane. I wondered what the cane represented, and I wondered if it's something the mother had used um, while she was still, alive, and it was like sort of this last piece or representative of her presence, and sometimes when we lose people, the things they left behind start to have new meaning, especially if we saw them with it all the time. And the taking of the pills, I looked at that to be symbolic of wanting to give up because, having the pressure of having to take on that role with her brother and also dealing with her own grief was becoming too much. I thought it was very interesting how they did this change of the coloring and then they made everything sort of out of focus when she did take the pills, almost so we are in this dream state with her. We're stimulating her point of view of being under the influence. And I think what kind of snaps her back into reality is, what would mom think? That moment within her high or dream state, where she realizes that the pressure of taking on this role is really getting to her, and learns to relate to her brother as a sister and not as this figure over him, and in coming back to that moment where he's able to help her relieve herself of the pressure and also remove the pills from her system. um it all kind of came full circle, and it left me feeling like, okay, these two are going to be okay.
A lot of interesting uses here of just framing and color to sort of evoke a mood. Um, it's at times very artistic, but also it all feels still really grounded. Just again, with the uses of color and other um, the film techniques to really, again, evoke that emotion. So there's a keen filmmaking sensibility behind this one. It's a great little script, and it's executed really well.
I liked what they did with the Reaper, how he was there, how they did kind of the effect of him in camera, and how he was just there in areas. And the way that he moved was, he kind of had this gliding motion, which was really, really cool. So that was excellent. The opening shot that they decided to do, ingenious. I liked how it was the cane that was in focus, and then the focus shifted to how she was in focus. I loved what you guys did with the voiceover distortion and stuff like that, and kind of what she was going, her grief, what she was going through. The actress definitely portrayed it well. It was really well done.